Is it possible that Mei Lin, the premier top tier combo queen, got stronger in season 2 of CZN? Well, yeah. This all has to do with this card right here, Residual Herb, now, which is a Striker and Vanguard exclusive neutral card for season 2. And as you can see, it looks very unassuming at first glance. It's got Retrieve 2, Exhaust 3, and then, you know, when it exhausts, you'll get a little bit of a Contaminated Spore card. At face value, it's kind of fine. In the hands of a Mei Lin party though, well, this card has Exhaust 3 and it retrieves, so you can play this thing 3 times before it's gone for good. And then on top of that, you'll also get a little Contaminated Spore afterwards for a 4th card, and this is going to count as a passion card if you have it on a passion character. And as you can see, this one as well, it's got a couple base epiphanies. The nice one for stacking up damage is going to be the morale buff, the morale epiphany. This is what we want for Mei Lin, and it's going to retain the epiphanies that you get on this card until it actually finally exhausts. So I'll be able to play this card 3 times. It's gonna be 3 stacks of morale, but what we have access to here is a couple of these ones. Now these bad boys, not only are they gonna give us morale, not only do they count as a bunch of passion cards played, but yes, you can get divines on them to draw cards or give AP, and the divine stays on the card. So this is going to be able to give us 3 morale stacks, 3 AP. We have 2 of these, and we wanted to make the most consistent OTK version of Mei Lin as possible. So we removed all the cards that everyone usually uses Mei Lin for, which is the strikes, right? And her strike grabber card. No, we're using the neutral cards here. We don't want to draw the strikes. We don't want to have the draw my strikes out of my deck, move them, whatever, right? Get an AP. It's too clunky. So what we have here, we have the initiation version of Spirit of Armada. It's only your own card. You can have the passion card version as well. We'll talk about some things you can do to tweak this if you really want to max it out. We have 2 versions of 2 copies of Dragon Kick because we're going to be able to make way more than enough AP in the Mei Lin deck to buff that up. And then we have this version of Flame Dragon's Jewel, which will give us 30% crit chance. And then it's also going to stack up a Tenacity and Ember. That doesn't really matter too much here. You might say, Josh, why are we using this one? Well, for this one, we're not really having the ability to put on Passion Weakness like a crazy amount because Mei Lin's going to be like the only, you know, person who's going to be able to attack. We don't have the strike cards. So the first Dragon Kick won't actually gain the benefit of Passion Weakness. The second one will though, and this is something else that you might want to swap around depending on how many Dragon Strikes you can get. We'll talk about tweaking some of this stuff. But this is going to be her save data and looks very, you know, kind of interesting. Not like the craziest thing, but we have the Initiation Spirit and we're going to be able to make a bunch of AP. So what we need to do is combine her with a bunch of card draw partners. But before we get into that, the gear that we have access to in season 2, you know what? The Vital Tip Synthetic, if you gain access to it, it's pretty good because guess what? Yeah, dude, we're making shields off the Residual Herb. So we're going to be able to get like one of our dragon or spires here at least fully buffed up that way. If you have the ability to end your turn with a bunch of extra cards in your hand, which is doable, you're gonna be able to get the bonus damage off sort of reflected in the lake as well. Yes, it helps to get a little bit of, you know, 2 cost cards or higher attack damage bonus 25%, and then attack card damage bonus 20% here. We have Quantum Collector. Is it the best thing in the world? No. But you know what? It's a 1-turn KO deck, and you know what? We're going to be casting an upgrade card, so it works here. We don't hate it. Now for Mei Lin partners, obviously Veronica. This doesn't have to be anything special that we're using here. We're just going to be using a very easy, a much easier access to build version of Veronica. We're removing all of the other cards out of her deck, and we're going to use this very simple repose build. You can see the faint memory point here is 120. You're going to remove all those basics for 60, and we're duping 4 we're getting 4 reposes, right? We're duping repos 3 times. If you get Circle Walls, you can draw 2 as well. That's a plus there. On top of that though, that's pretty much all you need to do. You just need a bunch of reposes, remove all the other stuff out of her deck. I know the upgrade stuff, right? It removes itself. We want to be turn 1 KO consistent. So get that garbage out of there. And then the last, but definitely not least, to pair with Veronica here, we have a Cassius build. I am currently putting whole build guide together for Cassius. A little bit of sneak peek of what we're doing here with this man though, if you're interested. And his deck is going to look a little something like this. So there's a lot of ways to build him. This is my favorite one for this. It's fun, it's cool, it's easy, it's simple, it's sweet, right? You got the Popeye Popper. We're going to be picking the Full House Quest because it's going to give us extra card draw. Very easy to do, as well as we're able to use a bunch of different zero cards, whether it's Cassius using his own zero cards in the form of Devil Dice, whether he's using Joker as well. And this one's pretty interesting because of these two neutral cards that you definitely do not need. You can use something similar to this build like this, something very simple and easy to use and gain access to. No crazy divine epiphanies needed here, but we do have some cool stuff. The shuffle can be whatever, so we could utilize this one if we wanted to, but we're gonna utilize this super cool one that I was able to piece together here. Now this one has Ebony Lumen. There's a lot of slots in Cassius for Fate memory points, and I wanted to try this one out. This has the 2 AP next turn, irrelevant for us here. We're a turn 1 KO deck. And you're asking, Josh, why is this in the deck? Why did you put this in here? Well, we got access to this little buff. So if you draw an exhaust card of this unit through an ally ability, it activates immediately. So you can do a lot of things. You can draw it randomly, right, with Veronica. But one of the coolest things you can do actually is you can actually Joker for an Ebony Lumen with this ability, and it will automatically just cast the Ebony Lumen. So it turns Joker into a one-time shot, 1 mana, draw 3 cards, and then you'll get the 2 mana version of Ebony Lumen as well to draw additional cards if you want to cast that with all the extra AP that we're gaining access to. You can do cool stuff like that. We also have a random nutrient absorption in here as well. If we draw into the Ebony Lumen as our secondary card or whatever, something that can't trigger off of this Psionic Combat Suit special ability we got from the Coliseum, we can just use nutrient absorption on the Ebony Lumen and draw 5 cards for no mana. So it literally adds a ton of consistency to the turn 1 KO. I love this stuff so much. It's just that fun. I'm happy that Cassius, you'll see him in a couple other videos too, is just still a monster character. This is the challenge boss for Nebula Distortion. This is the second one on difficulty 4. And well, they didn't give this boss elasticity, and I'm pretty sure at the end of the day here today, they might be putting elasticity on every single boss, or maybe even potentially having to nerf Rising Dragon Spire, because it's basically the only real card we're using in this Mei Lin deck. So let's try this out. This guy's gonna get sent to the skies. All right, my man is loading in. Can't believe we're fighting such a fight. We have Repost, Devil Dice, all this other cool stuff. Let's just pop off. We'll play Spirit, and we'll start doing stuff. We'll Joker as well. Here, we'll pop this. We'll play Joker. Yes, sir. We'll probably remove the Enhanced Ballista if we need to as well. Let's get the Ebony Lumen. Honestly, we have a Devil Dice, so let's just get Popeye Popper. There's a lot of ways to do this, to be honest with you. We'll play Popeye Popper. We'll play this Full House, Devil Dice. We'll play these Residual Herbs. Get this out of my hand. Super cool. Thank you for hitting me. Much wow, my friend. Don't want to do that to me. We'll pop this off. Look at this. AP, 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 AP. We like that. We'll just draw this. It'll make a quest for Cassius. So 1 mana, draw a bunch of cards. Full House, draw some more cards. We like that. We'll play a Devil Dice here. Yay. We'll put this Contaminated Spore there to count for Mei Lin's card. We'll play a Repose as well to draw some more cards. Look at us go. We drew the Nutrient Absorption. What are we going to take away? We'll take away the Enhanced Ballista. We don't need that. Let's draw more cards. We'll go Full House. The Ebony Lumens just kind of sit there, I guess. We'll play Repose again. What's left? The Residual Herb. Look at that. Cool, dude. Now let's just play Residual Herb. We'll just pop all these herbs off. I guess we should play this Dragon Jewel too, huh? We'll play all of the red cards. Every red card possible. Every red card possible. Let's play them all. And we're going to kick this boss into the sun. We'll Spore this guy too. Why not? We'll also Spore this guy again. Sure. Doesn't work too well. It's fine. Our stats here, we have 16 stacks of morale. Cool. 1 stack of resolve. We like seeing that. We did some distortion effects. Oh, look at that. 7 out of the 12. Good to go there. We got the Spirit of our Armada. Well, we got a lot of stacks of that bad boy. And we're ready to rock and roll. Oh, I forgot. Let's see. We got 21 kicks here. Let's just kick this guy and then this guy as well. How much damage do we do? How much damage do we do? Kick, 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 pop, pop. Kick this guy too. Pop, 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 pop. 101K, baby! Let's go! Mei Lin! She's so good. So we're using the Flame Dragon's Jewel because we don't really gain the full benefit of the Fire Passion weakness in this setup, especially with the 1-turn KO, and it's like a kick-only build with no strikes to activate the passion weakness of the other version. So I also thought I'd cook with this a little bit. So we get 30% crit chance from this as well. And this will move us into our memory fragment build. We see we have a 36% crit chance here. And our memory fragment setup is actually going to be the Line of Justice set. And my substats aren't like the greatest thing. They're okay for the most part. We're a 4-piece Line of Justice for 20% additional crit, and then 25 crit on the Executioner's tools. Most of these are like fine, right? Some of them are like pretty decent. Like this is kind of cool. This is kind of neat. We're actually wearing a crit damage necklace. If we wanted to go to like overcap crit rate, I think I'd be able to swap this to like a crit chance main one, and we would be slightly over crit chance cap. Really, I can gain some crit chance here, and that would be helpful. And I think I actually am missing poor Mei Lin. I'm missing one little crit damage node there as well. But this allows us to gain 50% additional crit chance for all of our dragon kicks, taking our 36 crit rate all the way up to 86%, and we have 227 crit damage, which will be like 230, hopefully, when I get this potential, which will be pretty neat. Math on that, boys. The 2.4. Dang it, will be 229. Now, if you wanted to make this even better, what are some things that you could do for this save data in particular? There's not a ton that you can do as far as removing divine blessings or duping different cards. 3 residual herbs the way to do this here. And if you're wondering how I got this to happen here, I actually got this residual herb to Epiphany into the divine version, and I duped it one time. But this one isn't a dupe though. I just bought a second residual herb, found one out of the shop. If you're fishing for this, try to get the, season cards show up 50% extra time. And this one I re-rolled it during the run to get a different one that gives morale. So that's why we get so many stacks of morale there. This one though, you could change this if you so desired. If you're running like a full passion team, you want to get some extra big passion damage out of there. We have a way more than enough AP that the 0 cost here doesn't really matter that much. And we have so much card draw that the initiation might not matter. Higher potential damage would be for the Spirit of Armada in like a passion team or similar, right? You could do this one or you could do this one. For OTK though, I think it's a lot better for you for this particular setup, honestly, to run this one, because initiation's a pretty big deal, because you're always going to gain the full benefit of being able to play this card first as you're going to go for the OTK, and make sure you play every single Mei Lin card afterwards. If you're doing some of the other ones, sure, you can draw into them, right? In a passion team, you could use something like this one, be like, oh dude, when anyone plays a passion card, this one's better. You're using Veronica. Maybe you'll do something else with a new future passion character. This one gives a larger damage bonus, but you're not guaranteed to get them, in the top 50% of your deck. It could be in the bottom percent. So when you're going for consistency, I still like the 0 cost one here. There's not a whole ton you can do for the Mei Lin deck. The other thing you could do, if you have enough AP generation from something else, you could turn these into card draw as well. That's something you could think about there. But as far as the balance for faint memory points, this is basically it. There might be a couple pieces of gear that are better at the end of the day, but really these things are they're fine. We don't really care too much. There's not a lot of season 2 stuff that buffs just attack cards in general. A lot of it's got timing restrictions on it, or it's buffing like 2 cost or higher exhaust cards, or they want you to play like 3 cost stuff. Different there. Another thing that you could change up here, I do like the crit chance of this unit, 30%. You could change this one to something of this nature, right? The big one everyone really runs most of the time is just like 30%, and then we'll apply passion weakness. It's good, it's strong. If you're able to somehow get a 3rd dragon kick activation into your team, you wouldn't actually be able to do Rising Dragon Kick in this deck and have 3 copies of it. What you'd have to do is make like a weird deck for Cassius, potentially, that has Spirit K-Fox in it instead of like these nutrient absorptions and ebony lumens and stuff like that. You could probably fit like a Spirit K-Fox into your deck here to go and grab one of your cards from Mei Lin's deck, which is going to be like the Dragon Kick, right? Or you do like Spirit of Armada and cast those an extra couple of times. So I think Spirit K-Fox is potentially something that you could look at to really make Cassius in this setup just like do a bunch of damage. If you're trying to like take out 3 different enemies at one time, you can go for that and have fun there. Outside of that though, you don't really need a ton of crazy stuff for the Cassius deck. As you saw, we didn't even really use the Ebony Lumen or the Nutrient Absorption. to its fullest effect. So something simple like this version of the deck will work just fine. And then as far as this goes, you guys already know, I mean, you could add a couple of divines to the reposes here, right? We're at 120 fate memory points. So there's a fair amount of stuff you could add here. I wouldn't add additional cards that don't draw cards. You could fit in some of the neutral spore cards, have it divine to draw another card. It's fine. It's going to act as another passion card you're getting played in your Veronica deck, but you don't need to do anything super crazy. I would highly advise though, that if you're doing something like this, you just want to remove as many cards as possible. You want to use all 5 removes. You just want repos, a Sir Kowalski that draws a card, and then your choice of one of the other cards. If you want to get super technical, you can probably take Firing Preparation out and really get in on here, and you get like this version, or not this version, but this card, Pendant of Resolution. And you guys saw all the extra AP we had. Just get this, right? Just retain retrieve 3. You have extra cards to drop in there. Just drop a bunch of pendants. You're gonna get a couple extra kicks. Is it gonna make it better? Sure. Is it necessary? Absolutely not, guys. So was Residual Herb of all cards really like the killer of the season? We'll have to find out. At least it's limited to strikers and vanguards. It's been a pretty powerful card inside of my chaos runs, and I wanted to see what I could do with it outside in the real world with save data, and it did not disappoint me. Drop that like, let me know what you think about it down below, Mei Lin fans, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.